The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
You're listening to In the Corner with Benny Mac. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unforgiving. Here's the man in the corner, Benny Mac.
Episode 51 of In the Corner. Days away from Backlash. The draft is now done. We're going to go through all of that in a moment because I say we, yes I said we, across the pond. He is here again, from across the pond I should say. Mr. Tyler, how are you, sir?
Benny, I am doing great, and it's just amazing to be able to join you on In the Corner, so I'm really looking forward to it. As you can tell with my tone, I am just pumped up. So let's get started with talking some wrestling, my friend.
Talk some wrestling content, I think they call it.
Well, there you go. That's proper. That's why he's the host, folks.
No, man. Yeah, so stuff we've been talking about, Tyler, since you've been coming on, stuff like World Heavyweight Championships. Are the shows ever going to be split? Are we going to have a draft? And we've been talking about this for months, to be fair, haven't we? And me especially moaning about it. And it's all happened, basically.
Are you sure it's not been years? It sure feels like it.
Wow, you saying my company makes it feel like years when we're on there. Thank you.
Well, hey, I've got to get one in there, here or there.
I don't blame you. I'm only joking. Sometimes I have been told I can talk a lot, so, it is what it is. There we go.
Well, I've also been guilty of, being able to ramble. I'm a rambling man, not the song. Me talking.
If there was Rambling World Championships, I think me and you being the top two at least. I don't know who would be.
We would get drafted high, would we?
Yeah, I don't know who would get drafted first, but I'm pretty sure we would be in the top 5 picks. Let's face it.
It'd be a tie.
It'd be a tie. Oh, if that was pun intended, it was really good. Well done, Tyler.
Oh, thank you.
Dude. So yeah, so before we go into all that quickly, I got to mention, because it's something I've been talking about the last, about a month probably. We saw Carmella come back to WWE TV. Very happy to see her back. I love the prospect of Chelsea Green and Carmella possibly being a tag team or a duo or whatever. And then all of a sudden she was off TV and we were like, we're not really sure why. There was reports of health problems or health issues or something health related. I think a couple of days ago on Instagram I saw it. I don't know why you saw it, Tyler, but her and Corey Graves are expecting, which is why she is no longer active.
I did see that.
So basically,
I want to. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say congratulations, basically, to those two. And it's, although I would have loved to have seen Chelsea Green in a bit more of Chelsea Green and Carmella together, because I think that'd be a great duo. Congrats to them both, because obviously I know they had, unfortunately, problems before, hence why she was off TV for a while. But yeah, congrats to them, really.
Yeah, I just echo those sentiments, Benny. Congratulations to both Carmella and Corey Graves on expecting this child. Everybody that's followed the story knows the tragedy that's involved. So what a blessing this is for them. Yeah. Couldn't be any happier for them. And you're so correct. We've discussed this before on your program that, man, Chelsea Green and Carmella had some chemistry going, but I will say that I am liking Sonya Deville with Chelsea Green. I think that's a credit to all these ladies, but there is something about Chelsea Green that is just, she draws, a lot of great talent, not only around her, and she herself is so talented. So it's really remarkable what she's been able to do just in the short period of time upon her return to WWE.
Yeah, do you know what? At first, I will say I wasn't I was more like, but I want to see Carmella and Chelsea Green. But actually, they've done quite well, to be fair. I think there's a lot more there that can be done. So yeah, no, I
they have.
Really, yeah. But yeah, man, as I said at the top of the show here, drafts have been happening. I got to ask you, because I've not spoke to you since it's been announced and stuff. What are your thoughts on
it's been a few weeks.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on the World Heavyweight title? Now, for me, before you say anything, for me, I've already said this on the show, but just to recap quickly for anybody else who's listening and yourself, obviously, to me, this is the World Heavyweight Championship that was in the company a few years ago. And then obviously it was also the one that was the WCW bout. So for me, it's just a continuation of that bout for me. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
What you said was true. I got to be honest, and I don't want to harp on it too much because I know Benny had articulated this so well. If you go back and listen to the last episode, the latest one of In the Corner, you'll be in for a real treat. But I will say, I'll just add that Triple H's promo, as cool as it was, and I know they got a big reaction from the crowd in Chicago last week from the belt, getting to see it, and it's a cool design. Don't get me wrong, and I get why they're going a certain way or direction per se. I just felt like, I don't want to say he buried Roman Reigns because that's being too harsh. I get what he was trying to imply, that, hey, we're going to have people not be just part-time, kind of like what the fuss was with Brock years ago.
Yeah.
I just, I came away kind of with mixed feelings, though,
Yeah.
just very briefly here, that, man, Roman's been your guy, and now all of a sudden we're kind of backtracking on it a little bit. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, that's kind of where I was coming at it from.
I mean, he did say that, if I was in Roman's position, I would do the same thing. So, but I understand it, because even I was a bit like, I'm not saying bury, because that word gets used way too much.
Yeah, well, and that's why I didn't want to even say that, because
but I understand
Triple
where
H was not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand where, people are coming from with that. So, it makes sense that you would feel the same, because I thought it was a little bit like harsh towards Roman a bit. But I suppose it depends on how you look at it, and obviously some people will look at it differently, subjective, obviously.
Certainly.
I mean, for me, like I said, it was very much this is a continuation of the World Heavyweight Championship, the former WCW bout, the former NWA bout, and stuff, which I already said in episode 50 of In the Corner. So yeah,
check it out, episode 50.
50 episodes. Yeah, it's mental. I've done 50 episodes.
Because Tyler Peters said so, but really, Stone Cold said it first. Of course, he did.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the design. Don't get me wrong. I think I would have liked to have seen the older bout, but it is what it is. It's a cool design. There were a lot of comments online about apparently they've ripped off AEW, and I'm like, people do realize that this bout was around long before
the concept or even the genesis of the idea of All Elite Wrestling.
Exactly.
And that's not a knock on AEW, but like
no, of
you're
course
saying,
not.
And WCW had been around on Turner
Exactly.
Network. So
exactly.
I mean, that's what gets me about people. That's like me coming in at anything without being educational with my response. I wish people would at least research before they get on Twitter or their soapbox on social media. And by the way, that leads me, and I've got a shirt that I'm fickle too, but go fickle yourself, because I need to say it to myself, because I've made some stupid quotes, and I'm knocking on me. So.
There you go. T-shirts are available on SJP World Media's store for In the Corner, by the way. I don't plug it enough, to be honest. So a few T-shirts and shirts around.
It was a great transition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Raw this week was, good. Obviously, we have the it's a continuation of the draft. So, although there were some good matches on Raw, I'm not knocking it by any stretch of the imagination. To be honest, this show is mainly going to be focusing on the draft and stuff, really. So we're gonna start. Obviously, I've got the list in front of me here, Tyler. I'm not expecting you to remember all of them. To be honest, I need the list in front of me because I don't remember all of them.
I was about to say I'm not. My memory is. I can't remember what I last ate. Yeah, and that was just yesterday. That's how bad. It's a telltale sign. And I'm only 36. I just told my age.
Oh no. Oh, retirement age on podcast. Although I haven't said that, I'm a year older. So yeah, we're both retiring after this episode. So there we go.
We are. We're leaving, folks. So just want to say this is it.
Well, if it's SJP want to carry it on, they can carry it on. They just change the name, I guess. But yeah. So
that's through rebranding.
So the actual draft began on SmackDown. Weirdly, I thought that was going to be, but then it makes sense because all the drafts are going to be in full effect after Backlash this weekend. So that makes perfect sense. Actually, the way they've done it. At first, I was a bit really, you're starting this on SmackDown, but actually, it makes perfect sense. And what we'll do is we'll talk about these, and we're going to probably talk about some storylines going on as we mention these particular superstars, wrestlers, female, male, whatever, as we go. And I did touch upon.
I will follow the leader.
Yeah, thank you. I did touch upon this on last week's show, but we'll go into a bit more depth. We've got Tyler here to see what he thinks as well. You can follow this show, by the way, at In the Corner on Twitter, at In the Corner WWE on Twitter, and on SJP Raw Media. Give it a look. So round one. So this took place on the 28th of the 4th, 2023, obviously. So last Friday it began. Do you know what? I don't think I've been... I know it's only a draft. I say only. I don't think I've been this excited for a SmackDown for a couple of weeks, to be honest. Maybe a bit longer. Just because I want to see what was going to happen. I thought we were going to see maybe GMs announce. I think this is something that will happen maybe in the next 6 months or so. We will have somebody who's the figurehead of said shows, but we'll get there. And do you know what? The way they did it was actually really good with some of the Hall of Famers, Rob Van Dam, Michael Hayes, JBL, Booker T, and all that, and Shawn Michaels and all that kind of stuff. So I think they did a really good job of it, actually. But I do miss the...
No, they did. Mixing it up with the legends and... real fastly say, Benny, that I was excited because this changes things up. That's what Triple H was alluding to, changing the game, kind of altering things for the future. And that's why, every good thing needs a kind of a kick in the pants, so to speak.
Yeah, I like that, kick in the pants. I like it. So Triple H...
thank you.
Triple H actually started the show on SmackDown and announced the first... was it the first? The first 4 picks, wasn't it? Yes. Right. So we'll try and go through. I'll try and go through this. We'll talk about it as we go, Tyler. But basically, so round one, SmackDown chose, and it's no surprise really, to be honest with you, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. But not only did they get Roman Reigns, they got Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. Now, the entire bloodline wasn't drafted together, which sounds okay, fair enough, Benny. But as we go along this draft, there's a lot of groups that were drafted together, weren't there? So, this story of
a lot of them.
Yeah, the Usos not going with Roman and Solo Sikoa was quite a surprise to myself. I don't know about you.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not as surprised that for Roman, but I get what you're saying, that not everybody all together as the bloodline unit was not drafted. No, I get what you're saying now. Of course, nobody's really shocked. I mean, Roman would have been neat if he got drafted Raw, but let's face it. I mean, to keep now with the new title, I mean, that was kind of a no-brainer, I guess, but still neat that, had to include him. But yeah, it was interesting to see just Paul and Solo and Roman, just the three, no Jimmy or Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I predicted it wrongly, but I did think that maybe the universe, the run that Roman's had with this title, I thought maybe he might be on the flagship show, aka Raw. So I was surprised when he went to SmackDown to a degree, but at the same time, the more you think about it, he's kind of been the anchor of that show for a couple of years now, so it kind of makes sense. And probably again, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, Benny, he's been the face of not only that show, but the company for the past several years since, the pandemic era. I don't want to go into the weeds here too much in the history. Everybody knows, or at least the ones that follow wrestling, I should preference. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's why, because I think with Fox and SmackDown, it's just Roman. It's great seeing him on Raw, but that makes it special when he goes on Raw. And now with the draft, it may keep him away where he's just going to defend his Universal title and give somebody, another star, an opportunity to shine with that new belt that Triple H introduced.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought they were going to do like the heavyweight championship or whatever the title was at the time, because they hadn't actually announced it at that point, was going to be on SmackDown. But again, I was wrong on that. So although there is still that asterisk over the tag team titles, are we going to see those morph into one bout? Or are we going to, Sammy and KO going to have to defend those SmackDown tag team titles separately going forward? We'll find out, I guess. But
it's a good question.
Yeah, pick number 2 for Raw. So pick number 1 for Raw, sorry, in round 1 of the picks was Cody Rhodes. This was kind of Do you know what? I'm not shocked. I wasn't like overly shocked by it, but this is where it leads into the World Heavyweight Championship now. And no disrespect to that bout because of the history of it, I get it. But for Cody Rhodes to win that bout, I feel like will almost be like a... I can't say it any better than this. Unless if somebody can give me a better word, then great. But it would almost feel like a consolation prize, considering the match he had against Roman at Mania and the fact that Cody.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
great minds think alike. The one great mind is BenNy. Mine, the doctor's still checking. But no, that's what I was. I was actually seriously consolation prize. Perfect.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from the World Heavyweight title because it's got a great. It's actually if this is the World Heavyweight title from a few years ago, this has got a great history to it. So, which I believe it is. They haven't said that, but I believe it is. So, but I feel this is a way of keeping, because Cody came back and the mission statement was to win the title that his dad never did, which is the WWE Championship. Now, okay, it's been merged together with it's the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, but that's the bout that Roman has. So that's the bout that Cody wants to win. So before I wasn't sure. I thought maybe SummerSlam. But this could be a way of keeping Roman and Cody away from each other until next year.
I think that's what it is, just to keep where they can have fresh feuds. And that way you can still build to when they meet again. Because to think that WrestleMania, that's the only encounter between the two, I don't think that's...
It's not over, is it? For me.
Yeah, it's not. Exactly. I'm glad, thanks for the help there. I was trying to find the right terminology to explain it. It's just, I just think, Brock and Cody gives it a fresh feud. I know we're going to talk about Backlash a little bit later on with our predictions. But, it brings it into context that, Cody's involved in this feud. And it makes you intrigued to know who Roman will face next, because you're looking at, the draft's impacting a lot, like what you were saying in regards with storylines. So it's that's what we're meaning by, this is you need a shakeup. Yeah, that's another good word to use. Just needs something to dramatically change the landscape, and whether dramatically is the right word to use or not. I digress. You just need something.
Yeah, you got to keep it fresh. But so again, that logically, there's several ways you could go with the Cody Roman thing. You could wait all the way until January. Maybe Cody wins the Rumble again, maybe from a different number. I don't necessarily think that is the case. And then he could use that loophole to challenge for the WWE, undisputed Universal Championship. So that means Roman's going to keep the bout for another 12 months, nearly.
I think they're wanting to break Hogan's record. That's the rumor, anyways. I don't know that that's true, but the way they're, if he's getting the 1,000 days or something, you just hear it. It don't mean all the headlines are correct. I'll be the first to admit it. It's tantalizing, so why not? But he has legitimately, broke some records, or at least has to be on track, because what is it? What's the count now? It's 900 and something, but I don't know the number.
It's 1,000. I think it's got to be 1,000 days, if not getting very close to it now. Might be over 1,000 days now, to be honest, Tyler.
It's got to be near. I think it's got to be close.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing achievement, and I get why they're positioning Roman and wanting, maybe they will have him break the Hulkster's record, and talk about quite a accomplishment if that indeed transpires. I'll tell you though, and I know we're going to talk about Raw, but if you heard Heyman's promo, you mentioned it with the title. What are we doing with Roman Cody? Heyman actually looked at the belt. And he was, and I know I didn't mean to skip ahead, but it plays into the draft. it's all part of the story.
Yeah. A friend of the show, who hopefully will be on again very soon, NJB, who started out with me. One day I want to get you guys on the same podcast together, because they'd be very interesting. But he is, and at first I just kind of dismissed it a little bit, and I was like, nah, I don't think that's going to happen. But what if Roman comes along and wins this bout? Because something I picked up on SmackDown, and maybe on one of the shows this past week, one of the commentators, I think it was on SmackDown. Now, whether Wade Barrett misspoke, I don't know. But he said Raw and SmackDown superstars will be competing for the World Heavyweight Championship. which
makes sense why, Roman, there could be a chance, like you were aforementioning, where Roman Reigns could very well have 3 titles.
Can you imagine?
Maybe.
Can you imagine Roman walking down the aisle with the Universal Championship, the WWE Championship, and the re-minted World Heavyweight title? Can you imagine? Do you know what? The more I think about it, the more that I feel now it's not actually impossible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but he's put this idea in my head, and I'm like, nah. And now I'm like, do you know what? This could be the way they go with it. You have no idea what they're going to do. And I tell you what, if they're going to keep Roman on the belts on him longer, if the Bloodline storyline since its inception has been really interesting, and especially in the last year, I would say, if they can keep that momentum going, then why not have Roman as a champion still? I'm not saying necessarily with the World Heavyweight, but you know what I mean? Still as champion.
And think about BenNy, the promos that Heyman is always a master on the mic. Just think about how much more gloating he could do. I mean, it's bad enough with 2 titles, but you add a 3rd. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he's already kind of teased it. We're not trying to fast track, folks. It's kind of making sense if we mention about the titles and the draft, the way the picks went. You can't help but go there.
Well, according to this, Roman Reigns is nearing. I don't think he's quite past it yet, but he's nearing. Pedro Morales was a 1,027 days, so Roman's going to beat that, I believe. And then you've got Bruno Sammartino's second longest title reign was 1,237 days. Hulk Hogan's, I believe, where is it? There it is, 1,474 days. So. Are we going to see the title change at SummerSlam? I have no idea. That was my thought. Money in the Bank's obviously coming up. They could maybe use a loophole.
A lot of big events. Roman probably he may not come back till closer to SummerSlam. We don't really know that he's going to be at Money in the Bank. Obviously Backlash. Roman's not going to be present, or at least we suppose.
That's the impression we're given at the moment, isn't it? But I love the fact that the way the story's being played out this past week on SmackDown. It looked like Paul Heyman was given the marching orders to Sikoa to take out the Usos, but it never happened because Matt Riddle got involved, and then they.
No, he did. The looks what sold it. I love the
way
expressions,
they did
the
it.
body language. Oh yeah, his eyes, just the way they
was
bug
brilliant.
out. It's yeah.
So it seems like, that's how it seems. It hasn't happened yet. So it feels like the Usos are pretty much exiled at this point, and how much longer before they start really because there was comments made by the Usos on TV about the fact they haven't heard from Roman since I think Mania. So that's playing to the story then, and obviously now you're also using
no
that
communication,
and
your family, and what happened to that? That's what makes me wonder, and I'm sure a lot of fans in the wrestling community, like yourself, BenNy, have often envisioned, the cracks in the bloodline. What Sammy and KO have been telling, especially Sammy with his experience being in the bloodline and feuding with them now. It looks like maybe Paul Heyman, Solo, and Roman split off, and the Usos, they end up getting in a battle with them.
Yeah,
possibly.
I'll skip ahead quickly because it all links into the Roman Reigns stuff. Now, the Usos tried to regain their tag titles. It didn't happen. Sammy and KO retained, but in the draft on Monday, the Usos actually got drafted to SmackDown. So now, whether they play this off as Roman pulling strings, I don't know. But it seems like the younger brother is being led down the same path that Jey Uso was led down probably 2 years ago after Roman, beat the crap out of him and, used the whole, I'm your family sort of thing.
Him.
Yeah, absolutely. So using the Usos' younger brother to do the dirty work because Roman, I guess...
don't want to get his hands dirty.
Exactly, there we go. And that makes it even worse, the fact that it's the younger brother of the Usos, doesn't it? So there's lots of ways this can go. What will happen? I have no idea, but I'm enjoying the bloodline. Again, one of the most entertaining things in WWE TV at the moment still is what's going to happen with the bloodline.
No one knows. That's the beauty of it. And I feel like Paul Heyman's like Robert Duvall's character in The Godfather. He's a consul Yeti. and Roman's kind of the tribal chief, like the Marlon Brando type or Al Pacino. He's
Okay.
pulling all the strings, but yet he can do the Sonny stuff. Maybe if I was casting Solo, could be like Sonny, James Caan's character. I know people don't want to mix film and wrestling, but it's got some of the. I'm not saying it's quite the same. That would be nuts, but you got to look at the story. I mean, it does have parallels.
Yeah, of course
Here's
it
a
does.
guy. You see betrayal. You see a lot of avenues they use in their creativity.
Yeah.
And I know people want to beat up on the writers and stuff, but I got to agree. This bloodline stuff has been compelling. I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
When there's a few weeks of wrestling in WWE, especially where it may not be the best show every week, but the bloodline stuff is the thing. I'm not saying every week, but most weeks is why I'm tuning in at the moment. So I think we've said it before on the show. So
yeah, it keeps our interests, even if the other shows are lackluster. And Cody, whatever he's doing, man, is Cody. We knew he could cut promos. We knew he was good second generation, but he's reinvented himself without necessarily having to.
no, I agree 100%. Let's finish these. That's a lot of stuff going on there, just with the bloodline alone.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's so hard. We got to be careful. We'll get off on tangents even when they make sense because this draft. Wow.
Well, again, it all links in together. Well, I know I skipped to the end there with the Usos being drafted to SmackDown as well, but everything that played out on Raw and SmackDown, you didn't know if it was going to happen, and it did, which then leads to Roman having to deal with his cousins because it seems like at the moment they are being kept at arm's length away from Roman, Paul, Sikoa, so they're trying to distance themselves. That's what it seems like. And honestly, like I said already, those orders,
they are.
That pep talk / orders given towards. So though, Paul Heyman, if you haven't seen it, Paul Heyman was given like a pep talk for the Usos to win the tag titles back, but then looked at Solo and said it has to be done tonight. But the Usos took it as because they're not looking at Paul. They took it as meaning they need to win the tag titles, but it looked like something was going to go down, but it just didn't quite get there. Whatever was planned that particular night, it didn't happen, basically.
Whatever it was, it didn't go according to plan, safe to say. Man, Heyman is really just crucial because not only his looks, the way he, like you're saying, he's communicating with the Usos. So it's making me just be a fan. I'm getting excited about it because, like you, and it's so many other people, we don't know where this is heading, where it's leading, what's the next swerve or surprise. It's really got everybody mesmerized in a good way. And, it's a good opportunity to see the growth of not the Usos, even proven commodities like them, Sami Zayn, KO, even involving Riddle, to see how they can carry out these different chapters of this story accordingly without Roman Reigns needing to be there. The absence makes the heart grow fonder. As much as we love Roman, sometimes you can have him feature too much. And I think this is actually a good idea where, there's certain times you need him, trust me, because he's that kind of a draw, of course. But I do feel, it's a good chance to let these guys that are underneath him shine. And the Usos have been main eventers, so has Sammy and KO and Solo. I understand why he got pushed and out of NXT so quick because he was part of the family, and the role as this enforcer has been brilliant.
Yeah, I can't add to that, really. You're spot on, mate. Let's push through these quickly. So we'll go back to round one. So that's where we're at, obviously. So Cody Rhodes, as I said, SmackDown actually drafted the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. That I was surprised about, to be honest. That was a good pick for SmackDown, but I was surprised.
I liked it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, me too. I was still taken back, but nice pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Raw then selected Becky Lynch again. So the top four there, obviously for that night, because basically how they did it, ladies and gents, was half the roster was eligible on that night, and on the Monday night, the other half would be then eligible. So not everybody was eligible, on draft night 1 and then draft night 2, basically. So, but yeah. Round 2, SmackDown drafted the Street Profits. Again, great pick, to be fair. We are waiting for this team to maybe not split up, but definitely venture into singles roles, possibly. There's a lot of talk around Ford, obviously.
Seeing where they can go.
Yeah. I mean, I like both of these guys. I think Angelo Dawkins has definitely stepped up. Not that he hadn't before, but I think all this talk about Ford possibly having his own individual pushes, I think is maybe motivated him a bit more. I don't know whether he needed it, but it seems to have done that.
It could be.
That tag team match they had at WrestleMania was ended up being really good, to be honest. So
no, and it's not that we didn't think there was potential there, but out of certain teams you can see chemistry. Others you say, well, whoa, why they booked this one? But I'm glad that it turned out to be a very good match. And the Street Profits have grown on me. I know they were entertaining, but I think when they need to be serious, they know when to turn the volume up a little bit. And these guys are just they've been impressive. And I think, too, we talk so much about, because I've been guilty of it, too, of just, it's all about Montez Ford when, hey, D'Angelo Dawkins is like, don't forget about me.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They've been NXT Tag Team Champions, they've been SmackDown Tag Team Champions, they've been Raw Tag Team Champions, so it would be cool to see them, almost do like a New Day thing, not split up, but, venture into singles stuff, and still have each other's backs. It's worked with New Day, and 2 members of the New Day have been WWE champion. So, why not do it that way? Why it doesn't have to be the classic break up a tag team. It's proved that by New Day for me.
Yeah, and New Day's using what a lot of people refer to as the Freebird rule.
Absolutely,
old, like what the Brood did. That's what Michael Hayes, Buddy Roberts, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy did. When they were 3 of them, not just 2.
Yeah. Because they're registered as a tag team, and that's their tag team name, and it states that they're all 3 members. Obviously, you can only have 2 in a tag team match, but yeah, no, I understand what you mean. This was a big pick for Raw. Intercontinental Champion Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. Imperium, the whole of Imperium, are going from Friday nights onto Monday Night Raw. This could be a good opportunity for Gunther. Obviously, the modern day, Intercontinental Championship run that he's having right now. Obviously, had a great showing at Rumble this past year.
He was incredible.
I can see that world title being on Gunther's shoulder.
I could. I think he's definitely going to be a future world champion. And I love, and we've discussed this, BenNy, but I have to say it again. I love how they're putting more respect to like the United States Championship and the Intercontinental title. Because that used to be, that was a workers' title. And I mean, no offense to the champions, but Gunther is the definition of that. I mean, the guy can carry a match. He can be dominant. He can sell for you. He can do all, we all know this. I'm just so happy for Imperium. This is a good way to change up the formula for Raw, to have all those guys from Imperium drafted to the Red brand. And also, I don't know if you saw it either, BenNy, but speaking of congratulations, Gunther and former NXT UK superstar Jenny, I believe her name is, got married recently.
I did not see that, but yeah, that would explain why his absence for maybe the last few weeks, but congratulations.
No, it sure does. No, I'm surprised. Normally I miss it. BenNy and everybody else educates me, but even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. So congratulations to the happy couple.
Congratulations. Back to what you were saying about the Intercontinental Championship and the US title. In their respective companies, back in the day, the titles were the gateway, as far as especially the Intercontinental Championship for me, watching WWF at the time, was the gateway, wasn't it, to the world title? So the prestige on it, it makes it's good. I like it. SmackDown then drafted Edge. We haven't seen Edge since WrestleMania, in fairness, but Edge is going back to the brand that he helped build back in 2002 onwards, really. So, SmackDown being when they did the initial draft. So, hopefully, we're going to see Edge more often. We're going to see him again. I
want to see
know.
Edge more. Yeah, I think right now I saw a picture. Him and Christian recently had a hockey reunion. They're supporting their, famous Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's where he's been. Of course, hockey, leave it to them in Canada. Of course, it's a big following here in the U.S., but seriously, I hope to see Edge back. He is, man, this latest run, I mean, talk about if you're going out in a blaze of glory, and I'm not talking about the Bon Jovi song. Edge is, I'm sincerely happy that he is getting his just due, and Beth Phoenix got involved. And the whole Judgment Day deal, I know a lot of people question the motives, why, because Edge did fit, and it was good to have that Hall of Famer, that legend, mentoring these people, even though you had experienced people, but none like Edge. And yeah, he's just, the guy's just been on fire ever since he returned from that serious neck injury. He's excitable. He gets the fans going. When you hear that entrance music, I know it's not always about the pop, but you can't help but say, oh, man, everybody's just over the moon when Edge comes out. And his work rate, well, I ain't got to tell you. I just, you can tell I'm a fan as well. I'm going down all the attributes and the reasons why he is so popular.
Yeah, 100%. Raw, so Matt Riddle's going to stay on Raw, basically. And I'm enjoying Matt Riddle's stuff at the moment since he's been back here. I know his return was a bit lackluster after Mania, but actually the backstage stuff with KO and Sammy, and yes, he's that dude, bro, stuff going on, but actually having these...
Where he's getting on their nerves.
Yeah, but also he's also given sound advice as well to Sammy, actually being a bit more serious with... he's all about fun still, but yeah, he's almost like the Silent Bob of the Jay and Silent Bob movies and stuff.
Hey, that's a cool comparison, and he did say, speaking of advice, what you're alluding to, Randy Orton. I mean, that did help him.
Yeah. Obviously, Randy Orton's out injured at the moment. There was talk, I think I said on last week's show, maybe the week's show before, but I read a rumor that wherever Roman ends up, we may see Randy Orton appear, because sooner rather than later. So, but again, it's all Webosphere stuff, Tyler. Whether it's true, I have no idea. But the general consensus seems to be that when Orton does return, it will be to target Roman Reigns. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Interesting.
But he obviously...
Somebody check my sources, but I would love to see it. I hope they're right, because I think a Randy Orton-Roman Reigns match... That would be off the charts. Let's pray that the rumors are true.
Hopefully so. I'd love to see Randy Orton back in the ring, even if that's not necessarily true.
I would too.
Just see him back in the ring in WWE, obviously. So round 3, SmackDown selected Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley's going from Raw to SmackDown. Sorry. Which was very interesting. I'm gonna jump ahead quickly on this one because obviously the Intercontinental Champion is going to Raw, and you can see it coming, but Austin Theory is going to SmackDown as well. Now, Bronson Reed, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory are set to have a match at Backlash. We'll talk about that a bit later on in terms of our predictions. But now you've got essentially 2 SmackDown stars, Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley, defending the US title with a Raw guy in there as well. So potentially Bronson Reed could leave Backlash and take the US title to Raw. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll discuss that later on. It was just a nice little nugget. I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah, but you never know.
You never know. That's what you do. You are right. Raw then selected Drew McIntyre. Now, there's a lot of speculation over McIntyre, whether he's going to stay, contract, money, whatever's going on. Again, all Webosphere stuff. He might have already signed a contract for all we know. But as it stands, Drew McIntyre is going to Raw. We haven't seen much of him since Mania, in fairness. But some fresh matchups for Drew on Raw. New World Heavyweight title.
I think it'll help him because, to be honest, other than the Brawling Brutes and kind of doing the bloodline stuff with KO, I hate to say it, but I feel bad for him. I can see where he got frustrated with creative a little bit. It's like, here's a guy that was a world champion a couple years ago, didn't get a chance to have that run. I'm not even mad he didn't win at Clash. I think everybody was. It was not just the UK, but around the world, because we were all pulling for Drew. But, even if you were in Roman's corner, you kind of felt a little part of you pull for Drew. It's just, he needs something to freshen up. And it's kind of interesting, all the contract rumors and whether he's going or he's staying. But it makes you think, he's got to be staying, right? I mean, he got drafted. I don't know.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that was a little incentive for him. I don't know. We'll soon find out. SmackDown signed AJ Styles, Michin, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson of the OC. Haven't seen AJ Styles for a while. Glad to see him back on TV.
Yeah, me too.
And then the fact they're going to be on SmackDown, that could be a future problem for the Bloodline, possibly. So that's interesting. Raw. Got the Miz in round 3. That was the last pick in round 3. Miz is another one of those guys that's almost turned into a Dolph Ziggler in a sense of anybody new that comes in seems to beat Miz now. So
now he's taking over Ziggler. Ziggler's getting the last laugh. Okay, Miz, now you know how I feel.
Yeah, your turn.
I mean, yeah, he's become a punching bag for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a football player, you're Shane McMahon, and you get injured, or Snoop Dogg. I mean, everybody's getting there, and whoever else. Heck, yeah, there'll be some random fan come in. They'll just let him, hey, Miz, you got to get pinned. Okay.
Fair enough. You got to get pinned. That's what's going on there.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I don't know, man. Again, Miz is one of those people that I liked. He's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. He's not doing much, that's all I can say really. I'd like to see a bit more from him.
He's floundering. I think that's why they had to use him as that host role for WrestleMania. And right, he's fell into this unfortunate category. I know some people have to do the job, but you just hate to see it so repetitively. And the Miz is so talented. I got to admit, I wasn't the biggest supporter of his, but the A-lister has proven why he's been successful. And you've noted his accomplishments. So you just kind of hate to see it, but I get why they're probably using him sparingly, and because you've got such a deep roster. I
mean, not everybody can be on top all at the same time, can they? So, like you said, a deep roster as well. So it makes sense. I was a little surprised at this because I feel like maybe this team was on its way out in a sense of maybe they're going to have a breakdown. Maybe it will happen on SmackDown. But the whole of Damage Control got drafted to SmackDown in round 4. Obviously, Io Sky is going to have a match against Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Again, I'm not sure how that's... I'm assuming they're going to do like a title swap at some point, like they did with...
See, that's with Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah, so I figure that's what's going to happen there. I don't know. But we'll soon find out. But Raw then selected Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura's recently come back to TV, or back to WWE. A fresh start, hopefully, for Shinsuke. He didn't quite go to plan when he won the Rumble a good couple of years ago.
I hope so.
Had that match at Mania with AJ Styles. Didn't quite deliver, I think, what they wanted, I guess, because they obviously just redoing it. Well, the match they had in the Tokyo Dome a fair few years before that.
Yeah,
so.
they were trying to borrow some of the magic, hopefully, like you're saying, from New Japan, and unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Didn't quite translate, did it, to what they wanted? I guess.
No, it didn't relate to everybody.
But it's cool to see Shinsuke. I liked him in NXT and stuff. So hopefully, again,
I like him. I know it's not his fault, but I think he needs a mouthpiece. I'm not crazy about him trying to do promos. That's the only thing.
I agree with you on that, actually, to be fair. I think that's a good, not a tag team partner, a mouthpiece to build him up and, almost like a Paul Heyman to a degree, to do that kind of job.
Or an MVP or something.
Or an MVP, yeah, that'd be good. Maybe it could be the Strong Style Hurt Business instead. Maybe.
Well, there you go. You could just add Strong Style to him. Hey, why not?
SmackDown. So this is our first pick from the NXT lot because they actually allowed to pick from the NXT as well. NXT SmackDown brought the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. She changed her name, didn't she? It was Kaylee Ray before.
Yeah, she did change her name. Yeah, Kaylee Ray. And they're both from Scotland. I thought one of them's from Ireland because all the countries are nearby, but that was no offense. I just honestly thought but I guess they're both from Scotland. Okay.
Yeah. Then Raw followed suit by drafting the new NXT Women's Champion, Indy Hartwell. So that was quite interesting on that. So we literally had 2 NXT picks in round 4, like straight away. That was what rounded off the show in terms of draft picks. The SmackDown lowdown, there's a few more done here, Tyler. I'll quickly go run through these. Raw got the Viking Raiders, Dexter Loomis, Candice LeRae, Monty and Mansoor, as I say it, Maxime Dupree, Maxime Models.
It's close enough.
I didn't know the Maxime Models were still together because obviously Maxime Dupree's kind of been hanging around Otis quite a lot. So I was,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the other Maximum Male Models in a long time. So where have they been?
I don't. Well, they're on Raw now, so we might see them. I don't know.
They're hiding. They're hiding backstage.
Yeah, they're hiding
probably
backstage.
Okay, we don't have anything for you guys. Sure.
Politicking probably to get on Raw. Zoe Stark from NXT, JD McDonough. I can't really say McDonough. I don't know how you say it.
I can't hardly say his name. I mean, I know it's just got the Mick in it, but I don't know how you say the rest of it.
But yeah, he
JD.
Say that again.
No, JD works.
JD, we'll call him
safe
JD.
to almost say the first name.
Yeah. Natalia, Sonya Deville, and Chelsea Green all staying on Raw or going to Raw. Apollo Crews is being called back up from NXT, and he's coming from NXT to Raw. And then SmackDown got Top Dollar, Ashanti, and the Adonis B-Fab, so Hit Row. Lacey Evans is going to stay on SmackDown. And then the free agents, which I don't know whether that's a nice way of saying they don't want you. I don't know. But the free agents are...
Or we can just go to any brand. That could be another loophole.
Yeah.
We're just going to be floaters.
Yeah, basically.
One quick thing about Indy Hartwell. I don't know about you. I've not got to watch a lot of NXT except their big shows. But Indy Hartwell, I see a lot of great potential there.
Same. I've only seen a few, like you said, a few of the NXT, bigger shows. Because I kind of fell out of favor with NXT when it went to 2.0. It just felt really I don't know. It just didn't feel the same.
It felt more generic and it lost that black and gold feel and flavor.
Yeah, I mean, it was before. It was before it changed. It had that indie sort of feel to it, even though it's not. Then it became sort of a bit too polished, I think, to a degree. It looked a bit cheesy, looked a bit Disney. That's probably the best way I can come up with it.
It did.
Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, sure, the production was slick, but that's why everybody kind of fell in love with NXT. It had, like you say, its presentation, where it was a little darker. It was still produced well, but it wasn't that slick. It wasn't going to be quite gritty like how the Monday Night Wars or shows prior, the studio shows, but it was trying to accomplish that.
100%, yeah, no. I just want to say the free agents quickly. After this was announced on, which was Omos, Mustafa Ali, Dolph Ziggler, and Von Wagner, I think his name is. I think he's an NXT guy. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that particular fella. Let's quickly race through the Raw ones from night 2 on Raw this past week. Raw went first this time, and they selected, probably no surprising considering who SmackDown selected, but they selected the SmackDown Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley, which means the SmackDown Women's Champion is now on Raw, and now the Raw Women's Champion is now on SmackDown. So, like I said, they're going to have to mail these titles to each other. I have no idea.
Yeah, they're going to have to switch them, or maybe have Bianca and Rhea have a match. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they'll swap them at Backlash, maybe depending on the outcomes of said matches. SmackDown, I've already mentioned this, but SmackDown's first choice of round 1 was Austin Theory in the United States title. Raw selected Seth freaking Rollins, which everybody at the moment is pegging for the guy to be the new world champion. I can see that.
Yeah, me too. I think it's overdue. I think that's even the rumors. I could believe the speculation of WWE having discussions. Hey, with Seth, he's worthy of a title run again.
100%. Maybe a Drew-Seth rivalry we might have for it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and Drew deserves to be in the contention.
Exactly.
So there's quite a few.
There's quite a few,
actually.
to be honest.
Yeah.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair is drafted to SmackDown. Then Brock Lesnar was announced as a free agent by Triple H. Now, Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar wants to do. So, as we found out...
No, seriously, he'll do whatever he needs to do. That's not just in storyline. So Brock can go wherever he wants.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe Brock becomes the world champion. You never know. Since he's banned from being world champ, facing Roman, and he can't compete for that title, so quite possibly. I've already mentioned this briefly, but round 2, Raw selected the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions in Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Sorry. Again, whether they're going to defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles separately, or whether they're going to maybe bring back the World Tag Team titles and we have the WWE Tag Team titles on SmackDown again, I have no idea. We'll see a lot more of this, I assume, in the next month or so. Usos go to SmackDown, which we already mentioned. This one I'm quite glad of as well. Raw selected Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day. Now, bear in mind, it does say Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio, the Judgment Day, but obviously Rhea Ripley was already picked, so the whole of Judgment Day is staying on Raw.
I think Judgment Day fits Raw. Nothing against SmackDown, but they just have when you can just tell certain talent just belongs on a brand. I think that's why it feels right saying that Judgment Day needed to stay, and why it's good they were picked by Raw.
No, I agree 100% with that statement. I don't quite know what it is, but yeah, even Finn Balor, you could argue, needs to be a contender for this World Heavyweight title. This is a guy that became...
Finn is he's deserving. I mean, the guy's overcame a lot.
Yeah, he became the first Universal Champion. Unfortunately, due to injury in the actual match, had to give it up. And then I think KO was the second. So there's so many people on Raw. It's hard
we're gonna have to add to contenders now that we're going down these names.
Yeah, absolutely.
I forget. I feel bad. I do.
No, I agree. LWO. So that consists of Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Zelina Vega. The LWO are going on SmackDown.
And once again, yeah, they to me they fit SmackDown.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that. Again, it's hard to know exactly why, but it makes sense, I think. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to fathom, but you can just, even as viewers, you just have this feeling. You just feel like, oh, I see them kind of fitting in more.
Yeah, no, it makes 100. Yeah, no, Finn Balor and like I said, Judgment Day fits Raw, and yeah, no, I agree.
Because Raw's got an edgier feel.
Yeah, no, I'll go with that. Round 3, Raw selected the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, there's only one set of Women's Tag Team Champions on the main roster. Does that mean all women can now compete for the Women's Tag Team Champions? Maybe have a tug of war between each brand on which brand has these.
Yeah, it's another big question.
Or... Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
See, I'm wondering, are we going to get other women's titles, or are they going to have to make it where you just keep it on one brand? Because that's the only thing that confuses me a little bit with the draft. But I know we got to give it time and let the storylines play out. But you can't help but
if you remember,
the wheels are spinning.
Yeah. If you remember back at the original draft, you had women's division on Raw and the cruiserweight division on SmackDown. So there were there were still female superstars on SmackDown, but there was no championship initially until the Divas title, I believe, was introduced. I mean, they might have swapped places, but at one point, Raw had the women's division and SmackDown had a cruiserweight division. Okay. So whether we're going to see something similar to that effect, but again, it's all up in the air at the moment, isn't it, Tyler? So
yeah, it is. It's like a coin toss, but it's I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But it does. It's a little puzzling, but like I say, patience is a virtue, and I need to learn to have some more. So we'll just
It gives us another reason to tune in, doesn't it, to what's going to happen?
Yeah, so. It does. It gives us more of a reason to be invested. Exactly.
Yeah. SmackDown drafted Asuka. Great pick. Great a fresh start for her, I believe, going to SmackDown
and she
as well.
She needs it. I think she's been on Raw long enough. That's what I do enjoy about the draft. Certain talent just needs that resurgence, I guess would be a good terminology to borrow from regarding, their restart.
Yeah, no. Raw selected Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, the New Day. Whether that comes with Big E down the line, if Big E's going to step back in the ring, I have no idea. SmackDown, Sheamus, Butch, and Ridge Holland, the Brawling Brutes, are going to stay on SmackDown. Fight night on Friday night. I love that. I can't wait for Pat McAfee to come back and start shouting Fight Night again. I loved it when he did that, to be honest. So,
I hope we see Pat McAfee back.
That would be cool to see him back soon. Round 4, Raw chose Trish Stratus, which then leads us obviously into Becky and Trish nicely, because both are on the same brand still. When this is going to play out, I don't know, because again, we've had a couple of weeks of TV where we've been leading to the draft, really. So we haven't seen this play out necessarily on TV as much as we probably hoped. So hopefully this rivalry hasn't gone too stale. Is probably the best way of saying it. So
no, I think after the draft, surely we'll see some more progression.
Yeah, I think so. Again, like I said, these shows have felt like a filler until we got to the draft, really. So once Backlash is done and dusted, I think we're really going to start seeing the stories play out.
Yeah, continuations and also fresh stories.
Yeah, absolutely. SmackDown drafted Karrion Kross and Scarlett. We're going to see Karrion Kross in action against Shinsuke on I think on Friday, I believe. This will, obviously that's our only.
That should be good.
Yeah, obviously we've got that.
I'll tell you too. Yeah, the USA Network, Benny. I don't know if you saw it, but they were playing along, and they said, they're happy for Karrion Kross because remember what happened to him last time he was on Raw? He was wearing a helmet.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler going to Raw. Again, I'm not seeing them since Mania, to be fair, so not really. So we'll see how that plays out. Someone who could quite easily be a world champion, but whether he's going to fit into plans, I don't know. But SmackDown chose LA Knight, so he's going to stay on SmackDown. That guy gets cheered more and more every week, or at least his catchphrases. We've got one of them here on this show.
Let me talk to you.
So,
yeah, there you go. Let me talk to you that he is, I believe, is going to be a world champion or have some title. And even without a championship, the guy, you said it, the people respond to him so well. And LA Knight, the guy's got a good promo. He can wrestle. I mean, he's got it all.
Yeah, 100%. Round 5, Raw selected Braun Strowman and Ricochet. I like both these guys. I'm more of a Ricochet fan, though, but the tag team's okay. I'm not going to say I've been overly gravitating towards them. I don't know about yourself in terms of a tag team. They make a good team.
Yeah, I've been mixed a little bit, but they've made it work. I haven't never been the biggest Braun Strowman fan. He's got a great look. Don't get me wrong, and he keeps himself in tremendous shape, and he is that monster of a guy. But this has helped him a little bit. I don't know what it is. Finally, I'm starting to actually like some of his stuff, and it's nothing personal. Trust me. It's just if I'm looking at him from a character standpoint.
Yeah, 100%. SmackDown selected Shotzi, so she's
you can't go wrong with Karen. God bless her.
She's had an okay run so far on the main roster. Again, I feel like at the moment they're not quite sure how to. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they're not quite sure how to use her. I guess she's had some good matches.
That's why we're seeing her paired with Sonya. Probably they're just trying some different
things.
Ways to see how she could be elevated or something since coming back.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is what I mentioned earlier about that triple threat match at Backlash. Bronson Reed is going to be staying on Raw. He's had a pretty good run so far. We are kind of going to get it at Backlash in this triple threat, but I was hoping to see a little bit more of Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. Again, we'll have that this Saturday, so maybe that will satisfy. But they're obviously going to be on separate brands
that'll
after.
Fulfill our appetite for a good match and just big guys going at it with Theory too. I like Bronson Reed. I liked him in NXT. I was aware of him, and for a guy that size to be that agile and move and do his the tsunami off the top rope, and I mean, and not just the high spots of the move. I mean, the way the guy just moves in general in the ring or outside of it, and the way he talks. I don't know. You want to follow this guy. You really there's something that attracts you to him. I know that sounds weird. People are going, wait a minute, what's he talking about here? But no, Bronson Reed. I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it, but there's something that you gravitate to him because not just of his size. I guess aura that would be proper.
Yeah. Do you know what? I could see Bronson Reed being paired with MVP as an MVP doing the deals for him and stuff. But that, it is
especially the way he's dressing. If you look at the video packages, I mean, he's wearing a suit. MVP's always looking sharp, so
he might be looking for more if Omos keeps losing matches. Pretty Deadly from NXT get drafted to SmackDown.
Poor Omos.
Yeah. Round 6, Raw, Otis and Chad Gable are staying on Raw. Alpha Academy, that plays in nicely. Maxim Dupree, obviously, we can keep that story going. It's building slowly. I'm enjoying it most of the time. It's quite interesting.
It's got some good comedy elements with it.
Yeah, definitely. SmackDown, I'm not totally sold on this guy. I'm not saying he's got a freaking great look and stuff, but Rick Boogs is going to SmackDown. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm on the fence
Yeah,
about
same.
Rick Boogs. I know everybody, and even McAfee was great with him on his when he came out with Nakamura. But it's cool to see him get a singles run,
Yeah.
and I get he's got some great personality. Definitely has a look and as strong as an ox.
Yes,
no doubt.
100%.
But I don't know. I'm still on the fence. Kind of reminds me of when Riddle first came in. I must admit, it's kind of one of those guys that I'm trying. It just may take time.
Do you know what? I'll agree with that because Riddle I was not taken with straight away when he was in NXT, and it was one of his matches he had done. I was like, bloody hell, this guy's good. So he.
I wasn't either, but I had to overlook his persona to where no, this guy can really go.
Exactly, yeah. Raw, I got Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. I believe they're from NXT as well.
Yeah, great picks. I can see them being they're definitely the future. I like these two girls. I've watched them.
I've not seen much of them, so I can't really. Well, I'm gonna have to start watching NXT again, but there's only so many hours in the day. SmackDown's last pick in terms of the main show, at least, before we get on to Raw Talk selections, was Cameron Grimes, who I do know a little bit about. Not seen much of him lately.
To the moon.
Yeah, to the moon. Corey Graves made a good comment. Why don't we get him and JBL together? I could see that, to be honest. Obviously,
in NXT, I only got to see snippets of it, but he was working with Ted DiBiase. They were doing the $1 million kind of man gimmick with Cameron Grimes. So JBL, you can see fit in that role. He's a big Wall Street kind of the mogul thing that he's doing, and that would be what Corey Graves suggested would be something. I like the potential of Cameron Grimes, much like Indy Hartwell and a lot of these NXT stars getting called up.
Yeah, it's cool. Free agents, we'll do quickly before I move on to the others. Baron Corbin, Sean Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Elias, and Zion Quinn. SmackDown got Grayson Waller. That is a freaking great pick. I didn't know that.
Grayson Waller. Oh, I love that guy's attitude.
Going to be him in LA Knights, I think, could be an interesting duo. Very similar.
That would make money. As a tag team. I could see it. Both these guys can talk. But right now, LA Knight's getting cheered, but he could turn it around where he gets booed again. But Grayson Waller gets heat, man. Yeah,
Tamina. I've not seen much of her lately, but she's going to be on SmackDown apparently as well.
I haven't.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I just said I haven't seen much of her either. I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. Raw got a few more selections because it's a longer show. That was the excuse. But Akira Tozawa, Angel, and Humberto. Dana Brooke, which we haven't seen much of. I'd like to see a bit more of her. Emma.
Yeah, where's she been?
She's been there was a sign apparently in the crowd a couple of weeks ago that said give Dana Brooke a chance. And apparently, according to the fan,
I did see it.
Apparently, according to the fan, the sign was taken off them. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. But according to the fan,
you
got confiscated. Apparently,
we don't. Dana Brooke's going to be drafted. Don't worry. We haven't seen her on TV in weeks, but don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, but I mean, by having these two separate shows and they are then locked into position, there's going to be more room for people to have opportunities on both shows. So hopefully that will be the case. Who did I say? Emma, sorry. Johnny Gargano, Nikki Cross, Odyssey Jones, Piper Niven, Riddick Moss, as he's now known again, not Moss, Madcap Moss.
No Madcap.
No Madcap. Tegan Knox and Xia Li. Again, Xia Li and Tegan Knox, potential there, 100%.
Yeah, I'm really a proponent of both those ladies.
Yeah, Indus Sher as well. I think that's how you said it. Indus Sher, I think.
Something. Yeah, that's good. And they've got Jinder Mahal and the other guys, and Shanky, and I don't even know the other guy, but I know those two are in it.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, there's also obviously we got free agents who could turn up everywhere, anywhere. There's returns, Big E, Randy Orton on the horizon. We hope so. And whoever else may appear from the wrestling world, whether that's from
who knows? Who
knows what's going to happen?
I mean, outside of WWE, legitimately, man, I would be ecstatic and so happy if Big E would return and be able to perform. Oh man,
be interesting to know. It'd be interesting to know actually whether Big E would rejoin the New Day, or would he? I don't know. Would he carry on
I'd
by
like to see
himself.
him carry on. No offense to the New Day. I think he needs to, because that was such a short title run, and I think that was a plan all the time. I know people were disappointed. I'm sure he was, even though I'm sure he knew, or assuming he did, that he wasn't going to hold the title that long. But I'd just like to see him just have a major push if he was able to come back.
Yeah, hopefully so. Right then, we have... So, yeah, that's the draft. That's what we think so far. Potential, and hopefully it is good as we go forward. Obviously, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about leading into, Night of Champions, who the potential World Heavyweight Champion is going to be. So there's so much going on.
There's a lot.
And we've got to go through Backlash, not quickly, but we got time to get through it. So it's going to be in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
I said Costa Rica
You are
by any
correct.
chance. I said it wrong the other week on the podcast, which I thought was quite funny.
Hey, it's got two Ricas, right? Puerto Rico and Costa Rica. I'm not sure it works.
No,
actually, that's a cousin to that country. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't really know where to start with this, to be honest with you. But let's start here. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight. Obviously, Bunny and Priest team together back at WrestleMania 37, I think. Obviously,
yeah, it was the first one where fans were allowed to come back. I think
that's right.
You're right.
Yeah. Obviously, they teamed together. Bad Bunny. I was not aware of how much he was on TV prior to this, so I wasn't watching it as much. I watched a playlist the other day on YouTube on WWE's channel. Not to plug that in anymore, but seeing the stuff that he's actually done. So I was quite. But his match at Mania was my first real experience of Bad Bunny, and I was really impressed.
To him.
Yeah, I was really impressed with this guy.
Oh, he did some great stuff, and he's had some spots in the Royal Rumbles in the past. I think they'll make it work. As much as I want to say probably Bad Bunny could win it, you've got to let Damian Priest win.
I think Damian Priest has got to win this. Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
He's got to. Let Bad Bunny have some moments, but then let Priest dominate. You just got to you've got to let your guy that's going to be there all the time. Let's face it, even Bad Bunny knows it and understands the business enough where he's been involved that Damian Priest has to come out the victor because he's with Judgment Day. Talking about guys that are contenders for not, because he's already held some championships already. I see this guy becoming a future world champion.
Potentially. I agree. There's definitely potential there. You can see it, can't you? But whether it ever happens is the problem sometimes,
Yeah, whether that occurs, you're so right on the money there. But I could see it.
But yeah, so I'm in agreement with you. I'll agree with you on that one. Damian Priest, it's kind of hard not to. It's going to be a good match, I think. Yeah. And there's going to be interference, obviously.
And especially with a street fight, who knows what all could go on and happen.
Oh, yeah, there is also that. So you never know. But I'm going to go with you with Damian Priest. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Judgment Day are going to get involved as well. Maybe someone else might come and help Bad Bunny, but overall, the Judgment Day will, they're a cohesive unit, and they'll,
it's a way to get people involved because it's no disqualification. It's got this kind of stipulation being a street fight. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but that's why you are who you are, sir. So.
I appreciate it. I've not been, I already said this, but I wasn't too. They kind of announced Seth Rollins versus Omos. Nothing was built at the time. Nothing was said. And I was like, oh, really? And it really felt like we'll just slap this match on there.
Let's just put this match for the sake of Omos feature and Seth. I've got to go Rollins. I don't see Omos winning.
No. If you're going to have a push for Rollins to be world champion, I think this is a good opportunity for Seth to beat a big guy like Omos. Because Omos is still impressive. Yeah. He hasn't won any...
He's impressive. And it would add to his... Yeah, he's going to be a potential contender for that new belt. Yeah, let's keep the momentum going with Seth.
Yeah, 100%. The interaction that Seth and Omos had on Raw, I think it was the week before, and it's made me want to watch this match. Do I think it's going to be an amazing match? At the moment, no. But, I could be wrong. But I think, I can't help but agree with you here. Seth's got to win this for me.
Yeah, he's got to come out on top of the big Nigerian giant. Hey, and let's be fair. It may not be the greatest match, but Brock and Omos, even though I know Brock and Seth are different, actually that was a decent match. So if you got a worker like Seth, I think, hey, the possibilities may really surprise us. I don't know.
Yeah. SmackDown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley championed in her first title defense against Zelina Vega.
I don't see Selena Vega winning. I know she's got ties to Puerto Rico. I like you, Selena, but I see Rhea Ripley retaining. There's no way you let her lose the belt. I just don't. I don't know. What do you think? I don't see it.
I mean, short of maybe this match going on before the Raw Women's Championship, and maybe somehow, like, Zelina Vega does win, and Rhea Ripley gets herself entered into the Raw Women's into a triple threat instead, and maybe Rhea Ripley pins Io Sky and takes the Raw Women's Championship to Raw with her, so that then puts the belts on the right brands without doing a belt swap. I can see them.
I see your logic.
Yeah, you could
you
could definitely see I could definitely see that happening. I don't think it. I mean, that'd be freaking amazing if that did happen. But
it would make it exciting. It would add some different dimensions for sure.
Definitely.
I could also see, what if Vega did win, and beat Ripley, and that'll give maybe Bianca and Selena. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Or even the other way around, where maybe maybe because they're on SmackDown as well, aren't they? So I can see it really working out. But let's just take it for the matches that they actually are. Rhea Ripley for me as well. Nothing against Zelina Vega, but Rhea Ripley's on fire at the moment. So
she's the Eradicator. She's Dominic's. She's his mommy, and I can't help it, man. You can't bet against.
No, not at the moment.
Ripley.
Again, she is on fire.
She's on fire. Where's Alicia Keys when you need her? Exactly. Oh my goodness.
So since we mentioned it, try that again. Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair champion. Obviously, a very long run from Bianca Belair here. Io Sky. Obviously, the story is more like a story with Damage Control with Bianca Belair involved. I will quickly say I would like to see Io Sky win, but I think Bianca Belair will retain. But I got a feeling we may see outside interference that maybe Bayley accidentally cost Io the title. Maybe I could see that possibly being a thread here. But
and we see the breakup or more dissension.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think Bianca Belair now. Whether this plan of Rhea Ripley getting involved somehow to walk out as Raw, so she might lose the SmackDown Women's Championship to Zelina, maybe via outside interference, Judgment Day, LWO, and all that kind of stuff. And maybe Rhea Ripley is that peed off that she gets herself put in this Raw Women's Championship match, and the only Raw woman, who's been signed to Raw, could possibly maybe not pin Belair, but possibly pin Io Sky to, do you know what I mean? Like, make it up on the fly on the night is what I'm getting at.
I'll follow you. Yeah, they could easily do it to where it would make sense.
Zelina Vega...
each lady having the titles.
Yeah, so Zelina Vega beats Ripley, for argument's sake. Like I said, so she takes the SmackDown Women's Championship back to SmackDown. Then Rhea Ripley enters herself into the Raw Women's Championship match, into a triple threat, which then leads to Rhea winning. Maybe not pin Belair, maybe pin Io Sky. And then Rhea takes the Raw Women's Championship back to Raw, and Zelina takes it to SmackDown, and then we have I don't know, it could be, but again, we'll take the matches as they are. I think Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I agree. If we're just taking the matches like they are, Bianca has to win the match, just because I think with the historical stats with title reigns in general, that's why I'm going with Bianca, and she's still got a lot of momentum as a star. Io Sky's a star. I do agree. I would love to see her win a big match, and I can see her holding a women's title in the future. I just don't see it happening if the matches stay as we think they are.
Yeah, definitely. Triple threat match for the United States Championship. Austin Theory, the champion, defending against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. As I said, now Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley are now SmackDown superstars. Bronson Reed is the only Raw superstar in this. So like I said, Raw could end up with the United States Championship as well. That is a possibility. I mean, what are your thoughts on...
It's very likely. My thoughts are, Bronson Reed might win it, and a part of me wants to go with Reed because he's a wild card. He'd be somebody different. But due to the draft having both Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley makes me think one of them has to win. Just because, not that I'm right. I'm just saying that I don't know. It's hard to take it off Theory, but if you're going to do it, gosh, this is a tough one. This is not as easy as some of the, because I'll be honest, some of the others are pretty, to me, clear cut and dry, but this one seems to stand out. It's, I don't mean to diminish the other matches, but when a triple threat, there's always that other factor because you got three guys competing. So I don't know. I almost want to say either one of these guys. Can it be a tie? Because I could see it going either way, but just for the heck, well, I guess it wouldn't be too many titles. I'm trying to look at it from how many titles are on each brand.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go from there. That way it kind of helps me narrow it down because I would say, well, you could still continue a Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory feud since they're both drafted on SmackDown. And Reed could start a new feud if he was the U.S. champion. So, gosh, it's hard to bet against any of these guys.
It is, yeah. No, I agree.
I'm going to go Austin Theory. I know that's a safe pick. I'm just going to have to go with it.
To be honest, I'm going with it, and it's more nothing against Bobby Lashley. I don't think they, have the IC title on Raw and the US title on Raw, so that's the only thing that makes me think. I'm not saying they won't do that or can't do that, but maybe there could be a loophole here where Bronson Reed does win it, and SmackDown are like, hey, we signed the US title to our brand, that's our title, so maybe that would then make Bronson Reed a SmackDown guy. I don't know. But let's keep it a bit more simple. I don't see... If Austin Theory loses the US title right now, where does he go from here?
Yeah, I think he's got to retain it just because they're really building up their champions, which I agree.
Yeah.
You get them the big wins. I mean, you build them up, get them all these great oppositions that have been champions before, or at least becoming big stars, have been big stars, however, and that's how you do it. And that's why it's hard for me not to think Theory's not walking out retaining the belt, the U.S. title.
I think Austin Theory is going to retain as well. So again, we've picked everything the same so far, and that's fine because it's hard not to.
Boy, we've been boring this time.
We have really.
Thanks WWE. We try to be different, but
yeah. Okay, then I don't know which is going to be the main event. I'm going to assume Cody Brock will be the main event, but it could be this match, so I don't know. But let's just say it's let's say it's Cody versus Brock. But let's go with Cody versus Brock actually right now because I think there's a lot more to talk about in terms of the 6-man tag. But Cody was meant to team with Brock. Brock sort of said, I'll help you against the Bloodline. That Raw after Mania, Brock obviously then just beat the snot out of Cody Rhodes. I love the way they've done this. Actually, I know it's kind of it's simple yet effective. They've kept them away from each other apart from a cheeky jab this past week on Raw from Cody on Brock through security. But this is quite a big match, really. It's a match I never thought I'd see, I will say. Cody versus Brock.
Yeah, it's fantasy booking, is it not? I mean, let's call it like we see it. I think they've done a good job keeping them away. It's hard not to agree with you there. The security thing's okay. I get why they do it. It's to make
it is a bit overplayed
Cody
sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you do need some people to act in, but yeah, it does kind of get overdone. Anyways, it's still going to be I think, an exciting match here. You got Brock Lesnar, you got Cody Rhodes. It's a fresh feud. I do like how they kept them away, so it doesn't take away from how special this match is going to be. And I would also concur that this possibly could be the main event, but who knows? There's so much to unpack. It's not as simple as it appears. But Cody's promo on Raw was, where he's admitted I put over Brock, but he's still human. Everybody looks at him because he Lesnar does seem like a superhuman guy with his strength and the kind of athlete he is. But let's not forget the kind of athlete and background Cody has and his knowledge and he's had to be in there against guys bigger than him, and he's been in some big fights as well. So this is his time to shine and prove himself and get redemption. So with my pick, I love Brock Lesnar, but I've got a feeling Cody Rhodes needs to win. He needs a victory.
It's quite a hard one, this one as well. I would,
I mean, it's tough. It's not clear cut, but I'm just kind of looking at it. Is he going to get beat twice? So in two big, not comparing Backlash with Mania, but it's still a big match and big event. But after losing to Roman, or does he keep losing to Brock? I mean, it really is complicated.
It depends on where
my gut wants to say Cody, but go ahead.
My gut wants to say Cody as well, but do we see Brock after this? Quite possibly. Maybe Cody does get the victory. Maybe Brock gets himself disqualified, so that kind of keeps Brock as an asterisk for Cody for later down the line.
He doesn't get beat.
Yeah. Then maybe in order to keep Cody, because fans are going to want to see Cody going for this world title. I don't think he should win it. Like I said earlier, I believe it's a lack of a better way of saying it, a consolation prize compared to what he's actually, what his mission statement was.
Roman later on.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe Cody is in the final for the world title. Maybe we see a Seth-Cody rematch. And obviously Cody's got 3 over Seth. So, maybe thanks to Brock Lesnar, maybe Cody loses and we have a bit more of a longer feud between Brock and Cody. But do you know what? I have no idea.
I don't either. Some of these are still hard to pick because if you're looking at it from the storyline and what's happened in their previous matches, you're trying to. That's why certain predictions, get kind of, complicated. I'll go back to using that word. But Seth Rollins. Let's not forget after what Heyman, he came out after Triple H was announcing about the draft and talking about the title again, and he said, "Hey, Roman still may have his eye on that title." I mean,
so you don't know, yeah.
So we don't really know what's going to happen, but it's just fun to have theories. So pardon the pun with Austin theory. But it's kind of like when the game said, "I'm going to change the game." I had to be. Sometimes I want to say, "Well, pardon that pun," because we know he's the game. But it was kind of cool that line that he added, because it's going to change the landscape of what they're doing.
Yeah. Assuming this is the main event, I'm going to say Cody. I am going to say Cody. Whether that's via disqualification or whatever happens, I don't know. But
some kind of different finish.
Yeah. But if the 6-man tag, is the main event, you could have Cody possibly lose and have like the baby faces winning the main event, send the fans home happy. But I don't know. But I'm going to go with Cody as well. Again, the same as you, Tyler, but I'm kind of got to go there.
We're agreeing, but we can't help it. Normally we can disagree, folks, but this one's tough. Backlash has done this to us.
It's shaping up to be a good event, actually. I will admit I wasn't overly excited about it, but it is starting to shape up to be quite a good night of wrestling.
It's made me want to watch it more. The more matches announced, because at least there's some intrigue enough. There's enough there.
Yeah, 100%. So let's the last match on the card, as far as we're aware of it, is the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens teaming with Matt Riddle versus the Bloodline in Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. Now, there's a lot to be unpacked here because of what happened or nearly happened on SmackDown. What's happening with the fact that the Usos are kind of being pushed out of the Bloodline, at least that's how it seems.
It's what it's looking like.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, we're going to see a lot more of that play out going forward. I mean, I'll go first this time, but I think I'm going to go with the Bloodline to win this one, with Solo Sikoa possibly getting the pinfall over possibly Riddle, I want to say. That way, you protect your integrity of your tag team title champions. And then, obviously, this will be in theory, this will be the last time we see these two teams face each other because of they're on, SmackDown. Well, one team's on Raw, one team's on SmackDown. So, again, unless these SmackDown tag team titles are going to be defended separately, we probably won't see these two teams go at it for a while.
No, that is a fair case. But, however, this is where I'll disagree.
Dum, dum, dum.
I'm going to have to go. Yeah, definitely. Drum roll, please. No, big mystery. Matt Riddle and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I just want to be different. But seriously, I was trying to look at it from a different perspective. I get the bloodline is due a victory. And Solo, how you laid it out sounds good. I just feel like if there's going to be more cracks and dissension and more of this Heyman and Solo, the Usos getting pushed out, and that eventually we're going to have to see Jimmy and Jay stand up to Roman.
Yeah.
Or, the bloodline separates. So I'm kind of looking at it from that point of view. That what if they just keep struggling and, Solo don't take the pin? It's one of the Usos again. And, Heyman's having to report back even if Roman's not there. That's one thing I meant to bring up earlier. It's amazing how much things you don't catch. You have to go back and look at, just like with anything. And Paul Heyman on that red phone, that's perfect. Because he's actually calling Roman Reigns or acting like he is. And the commentary's doing such a good job relaying this information that even when they say it, I forget it. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. That makes a lot more sense now. It clicked.
Yeah.
So, I can just see. And that's what I was kind of thinking of it a little differently out of respect to you, because I like what you laid out. It's just like that's the one match where, as much as I like what the Bloodline's doing, and as like a lot of people, I like what Sammy and Kevin Owens is doing, even with Riddle, even though there's been critics of that current creative, like always. I don't know. I just have a feeling, maybe, not saying I'm correct, but the undisputed tag team champions and Riddle will win. The Bro will get the win.
In theory, one of us will be right, or neither of us will be. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's safe. I always try to sound smarter, Benny, than I am, and I still don't accomplish that. So.
Oh no! Don't be silly. Man.
No, but I like teasing with myself. That's why I say on the fickle T-shirt, I'm fickle at times too. That's why I want to relate to the audience, because I'm guilty of saying some dumb things too. So.
Oh, there we go. That's a massive show. There was a lot to talk about there. Obviously,
it's a big show. Yeah, it really was, or is. It will be.
Yeah, so, man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown this Friday. Also, obviously, what's going to happen at Backlash. What's going to happen going forward in the next month or two? Because obviously, Clash of Champions, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. There's so much potential here. And will Roman end up being the World Heavyweight Champion as well? We have no idea how this is going to play out. But I mean,
he's gonna end up having 4 belts before it's over. I'm teasing. I don't know.
But can you imagine him actually doing it, and the fans will boo the shit out of him even more? Excuse my language.
He will get massive heat. And I'll tell you somebody else that is getting massive heat, and this has nothing to do with Roman. But we're talking about good heels right now. Dominic couldn't even speak.
Yes, yeah. We didn't really talk about it. But the heat that Dominic Mysterio had on Raw. It took him 4 attempts, I think, to get his 4
attempts, and of course Rhea, Finn, and Damien's looking frustrated as they should, because that's one of their compadres. But man, that shows you he's getting over with his fans being the villain, because they don't want to even let the guy speak. They want to interrupt him. 4 times or more. I mean, it took him a long time before he was trying to utter the words, and they were just not having it.
I would still like to see Dominic Mysterio make himself the European champion, just because it would be absolutely hilarious, I think.
Just to make people mad.
And you know what? It would make people mad, and that's the point. So,
that's the whole idea.
And then,
exactly.
Smart.
Taking nothing away from Roman. Yeah, Roman's definitely got the heat. But I'm telling you, as much as Roman's got, or a lot of the others got, MJF on AEW, different, not fair to compare all these people, but I got to give Dominic his credit, and Judgment Day as a whole group. But even single-handedly, he's getting over in the right way if you're going to be that bad guy, that punk.
Yeah, which he plays very well. So yeah.
He does.
I know. We'll talk a bit more about Ray about next week, but obviously Dominic. But it's just obviously the draft, and obviously we've got a big event coming up the weekend. So but there we are. Tyler, thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Hopefully see you.
You're very welcome, Benny. I always have a good time talking some wrestling with you, as we say in the southern part of the U.S. There we go.
As per usual, where can we find your good self, and what else you are doing on the old webosphere?
Well, I appreciate it. You can find me at Dustin Tyler 86 on Twitter. You can find me at least most of the time joining your host, Benny Mack, on In the Corner WWE. Thanks to him. A shout out even on the same show. You can find me on another show called Back When. Also, they're both these shows are part of SJP World Media Network. Shout out to our pal Cy and also our buddy Josh DeBoard and his crew at RSH. Got a great show, and I know Benny will plug some other shows that he's a part of on that wonderful network. And Wrestle Buddy doing the weekly report, and I want to plug that whole team over there. Also, start a new show called Around the Table Wrestle Scoops, where we're talking about wrestling news similar to how we discuss it, Benny. So check that out. That's been real fun with the insider from the wrestling blog. And man, I'm just blessed and fortunate. I'm surrounded by talented folks, including yourself. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Obviously, SJP Raw Media, each show has its own feed. Also, you can just follow SJP Raw Media if you want to listen to a bit of everything. So like you said, Back When with Danny and Tyler, we've got Chain Wrestling. In the Corner, obviously, is what you're listening to now. The Murder in Mind pod, the Doctor Who pod, the Waiting Room podcast, which is a Quantum Leap podcast, WCW Nitro Nights, NXT Rise and Fall back catalogue as well. So, and also Gameplay Junkies is now up on SJP Raw Media, and that's also a separate show I do on twitch.tv/Benny Mac Gaming, BENNYMACK. You can watch us live 5:30 p.m. UK time, around 11:30 your time, Tyler, Eastern time 12:30.
Okay.
But also it's live on Spreaker. You can listen to us live and chat with us as well as we're talking some gaming and some tech basically. But yeah, this is In the Corner. Follow this show on Twitter at In the Corner WWE. And Tyler, as per usual, man, it's been absolutely amazing chatting to you. I can't wait for Backlash this weekend. And
I can't either, Benny.
There's only one match between us, so what Backlash will entail next Wednesday when we talk some Raw, the fallout of
Looking
Backlash.
forward to it.
I need Bloodline to win in order to win a pay-per-view for a change. So
I need Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle to actually get the job done, which they have. But I can't let Benny come back on me. Please win.
Well, we'll see what
My
happens.
desperate plea.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tyler. And we'll see you all again very soon.
You're welcome, man.
And follow us on SJP World Media.